When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, we're back here continuing our live coverage of Mountain West Media Days, Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. And nice enough to sit down with us for a couple minutes, the head coach of your Boise State Broncos, Andy Avalos. Andy, thanks for the time. How's it going, man?
Awesome, BJ. Thanks for having the time to have us on. And, yeah, it's been a good day. It's rapid fire from room to room, sit down. It's awesome to catch up with all the coaches here and share stories about summer and the ever-evolving game of college football.
It's not exciting to catch up with the media, too? Just the coaches? Come on.
Oh, that's what I said, to catch up there, sit down. And it's what do we call this right here, Radio Row?
Yes.
So,
although this is kind of I don't even know what this is, a podcast, a webcast. It's not really radio, but we'll call it that.
As I look around right now, you win the award for best scenery and decorations. It looks nice the way you set up here, making Bronco Nation proud.
Appreciate it, man, and appreciate the time. And what is it like being down here? You were here a year ago. You're kind of not, and I guess we're at a new hotel anyway, so we still don't know where we're going. But you're two at least kind of a little more familiar with things like this, media days and coaches meetings and all that kind of stuff. How much different are you just with stuff like this and just the comfort level going into year two?
Yeah, there's no question. Obviously, having the experience, all the experiences from last year and where we're at now, and even an event like this, knowing what it is and being able to bounce around from the different rooms from, Fox to CBS and all the local medias from all the different cities from our conference. That's what I mean. It's fun to catch up. We're going to play, we're going to go on the road here and we're going to play in some other stadiums. So, creating, a buzz and a vibe for not only the games that are at home for us in Albertson Stadium, but as we go on the road too.
What as you enter year two, just what was something that maybe you didn't know what you needed to know, or did anything go differently, or just in general for you, looking back on your first year, that you feel a little better about going into year two here as a head coach?
There is so much, obviously being in the first year, just like first year of being a coordinator, being a first year of a position coach, it's how fast can we learn, how fast can we adapt, how fast can we grow. Not making the same mistakes, having some foresight now, having the experience of seeing through things. And, a lot of that too is there's things that are in the game now that it's changing, things that we've seen for the past 10, 15 years, coming up in the business, and those things are changing. Calendars are changing, recruiting's changing. Obviously coming out of this pandemic here, that had a lot to do with being in the first year of being a head coach and creating protocols that were going to allow us to compete consistently and not have players losing time.
I'm sure you're tired of hearing about 7-5 last year, but I'm sure your players are too. And I'm sure this offseason, it's a big motivation for them. It seemed like talking to the guys in the spring and stuff at that, I know it's easy to just kind of say and be lip service, but it does seem like guys weren't happy with how last year went.
No, I think, and it was obviously because of the COVID protocols, not being able to play in the bowl game after practicing for, the month of December and having some unbelievable practices. Obviously that propelled us forward into the spring and obviously to where we're at now. But there's plenty of motivation to stay focused on what are the important things. And that's how we compete every day, how we show up, how we have fun. And they're doing it. I mean, the things that we're working to reestablish what has been the foundation in Boise State football, those players now, they're leading that stuff. They've done a great job training with Coach Kagi this summer, and obviously us getting to be able to do the skill instruction, some new things, and being able to work on certain things within position groups has been awesome.
With you think about, this is the 15th year in a row that Boise State was picked to either win their division or their conference. I mean, 15 years in a row, those kind of expectations. And I know it's been a couple years since you guys have won it, but I'm still, you'd obviously rather be picked first than last. I mean, what does it mean to go in year out with those kind of expectations?
Yeah, you know what? we heavily rely on what is it that we need to get done. I mean, the things we talked about, building a certain confidence and mentality in what we control and how we're going to do it. That's everything, and that's getting the players to lock in on those things, leadership group to lead those things. That's the most important thing. I'm sure when you ask OJ and Scotty tomorrow what it means or what does it feel like or what do you think about it, they're probably going to say we don't think about that. We're locked in on what we need to do to put a body of work together 1 week at a time to put ourselves in position to accomplish our goal at the end of the year.
Fans, media, we all have reasons why we think the team's going to be better this year. Why for you as head coach do you feel good about this group going into the season?
A big part of it has to do with our leadership. In all different levels. I'm talking about the staff. We're talking about all the different departments within the building, the environment that has been created there, and obviously our leadership group in terms of our players. Our players now are leading the things player to player that the coaches and the staff were, re-implementing last year. And that's the exciting part. We've built depth, on both fronts. Before I flew out here yesterday, getting to be at the team run and seeing our full line together, seeing OJ in there, seeing Ben Dooley in there, next to Cade and what that looks like with Kay Connie, who we missed last year, right? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's the center. He's the quarterback of that offensive line. And now Hank getting to work with those guys. And we got a month here and we got a lot of work to do. We got to create a chemistry, and there's going to be competition too. We got depth inside, on our line. So
I'll ask you one offensive question, one defensive question, because I know our time is limited here. But offensively, you mentioned the O-line. I think the snap issues hopefully are fixed. I mean, there were a lot of things with that group that, you feel better about. You got George healthy back. Offensively, just what do you see overall? The whole Tim Plow, Hank having their second year working together. Right. What stands out to you offensively about this team?
Well, I can say this: the confidence and the comfortability of which the guy driving the bus, Hank, is, in year number 2 is awesome to see. His ability to not only communicate and lead himself, but to obviously lead the whole group. And it's not all on him. Him building the chemistry with the wide receivers. Obviously, losing Shaq is a lot of production and a great leader. One guy doesn't need to fill his shoes, BJ. That's not what it's going to be about. Steph is coming on. Steph's going to have a great year. Davis had a huge role as, the third, fourth guy last year. And so Billy Bowens, looking forward to Austin Bolt as well, having a great year. And so, Hank just building his chemistry with those guys. That's going to be the biggest thing. And they've been working really hard at that, as well as, the other young quarterbacks that we have.
Defensively, you obviously lose, Kekala Kaniho, at linebacker spot, you to replace, obviously, Riley Wimpy, too. I mean, 2 huge guys that maybe meant as much to you off the field as they did on in terms of leadership and things like that. But you've got your safeties back. You got, some depth at corner. The line, you feel good about Scott Matlock and some of those guys. Where are you at with the defense going into the camp?
Yeah, so definitely the will linebacker position, right? The boundary side linebacker position that Riley Wimpy played. We've been investing a lot of time into that position, development of that position. Now the competition is going to take place here in a couple weeks. And, Isaiah Bagnall is going to move over there and play that position as well as a few other guys, DJ Schramm, and Simpson's going to be over there. So we're going to have it's going to be a competition to see, who best fits that role right now. And we have some depth at safety. We have guys that have been back there that are going to play around that position to be able to help them and get these guys going and create a rhythm within it. And JL will be standing right next to that guy. That always provides a little bit of comfort to have him standing right next to the will linebacker. So we're really excited. The biggest thing for our defense is to stay focused on what we control, and that's building a certain level of confidence through preparation and training, and that'll build our mentality because that's what defense is about.
Andy Avalos or Leon Rice always said, as we're talking to Andy Avalos, Leon would tell me, hey, administration builds the championships. All the stuff behind the scenes, it's not just the coaches. And, we hear the news about the new scoreboards coming in and some other stuff they're doing. How important is what Jeremiah and his staff's doing behind the scenes going to be to that game day atmosphere and kind of dominating on the blue again?
You know what? It is unbelievable. The things that are in the works right now. We're out training on, in Albertson Stadium on the blue, and there's tractors going by on the sideline, going to the far side of the field to start, the work on the scoreboard going in on the south end. And obviously we're lucky enough to have, Robert Rebholz help us out and upgrade the one on the north end above our facility. And And I'll tell you like this, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now that Jeremiah is working on to improve our facilities and what we can do for the student athletes in terms of nutrition. And, that's going to be a big deal. It helps at the end of the day. It's all about personnel, right? We feel a lot more confident this year about where we're at because of the depth. Well, that's personnel. That's the players. The players play, and the coaches have to do an unbelievable job teaching and coaching and mentoring those guys.
Well, final thing, I know you got a lot of other interviews to get to. We appreciate your time, but just in general, you got some of the harder games at home, it would seem like this season. You got some new coaches.
They're all hard. It doesn't matter where they're at. They're all hard. This conference is it's exciting. I mean, there's really good coaches here, but I know that they're all in this conference week in and week out. And obviously we have some non-conference games too that are going to be very challenging. But
just in general, it would seem like that there's a lot of excitement going into the season. The fans are excited. Everything we've just talked about. But final question, I mean, just as you get ready for camp here in 10 days, I mean, you've got to be as excited about this season as you have in a while.
It was, it was an awesome opportunity to go on vacation and spend some time, with my family and hang out with Summer and the girls. But boy, it was exciting to get back in and see the guys and be around them and watch them train and see all the improvements that they've made. And, it's going to be an exciting time. We're looking forward to Bronco Nation coming out into Albertson Stadium for these home games and really making it unbelievable and special place to play. And the guys are putting in the work to make sure that, we defend the blue.
Well, September 3rd in Corvallis will be here before we know it. Coach, we appreciate your time.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll talk to you later, but good luck with the rest of the media, and we appreciate your time today.
Go Broncos.
There he is, Andy Avalos. Appreciate his time. We'll be back. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com here in Las Vegas.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
At ICCU, to make a difference, it takes just one connection. A friendly face, an open ear, a helping hand. And then something amazing happens. We find out that we're better together. This is what Idaho Central does in our communities every day. We help our members with the small things and big dreams. This is what believing in you is all about. Idaho Central Credit Union, looking after your daily balance.